Hello.
I'm excited you're all here. Hope everybody's doing okay. Let's go ahead and begin. Are there any, I'll make the announcement in a second. Are there any questions or conversations re mediumship that you'd like to have over the last week? Bueller? Oh, Linda. Hi.
Hi. I know you mentioned that spirit kind of challenges this
Yes.
for growth. So I'm thinking the next 3 months, I'm going to open up a Zoom for paid readings. And I was on a platform where mediums read mediums, and I got 2 very challenging sitters.
Lovely.
What? One, the first one, she picked her teeth with her finger the whole time. Then her dog was barking, and then she finally unplugged and moved everything to the outside. And then the second one was I anchored the link. It's the grandfather, dad's dad. I asked the sitter to confirm, and he wouldn't confirm if his grandfather was in spirit.
What do you mean he wouldn't? Like you'd ask and he'd say, I'm not.
Yeah, I said, I'd anchored the link. I said, okay, is the male here? It's grandfather. It's your dad's dad. Can you confirm your dad's in spirit? And he wouldn't.
What do you mean he wouldn't? Did he just say, no, I can't confirm that? Or
yeah, he says, I don't want to at this time. Later, he said, I want to get the evidence first. And so, am I wrong to thinking, well, I want the link to be identified before I give evidence? That may be all BS or for someone else.
Well, I mean, generally that's the way that it would go.
That's how I've always done it. I've never encountered this before.
Well, it's interesting, right? Because even if he says, yeah, he's in spirit, you could bring through a bunch of evidence and it could be completely wrong. But all you're asking him to do is just confirm that his dad's dad is in spirit, right? Mm-hmm. But, some people are really tricky. You might come across somebody like that and be like, okay, I'll bring through the evidence of who I'm with, and then you can let me know if this is your grandfather in spirit or if you recognize this as someone else. Okay. You can say, and I just want to let you know sometimes what can really help is if you anchor the link. If I identify who this is, mm-hmm. sometimes that helps, and then I'll it helps the energy and the reading build. But whether you tell me now or later, I'll just bring through the evidence that I have. It does help to get your confirmation as I go to make mm-hmm. sure that I'm with the right spirit. And I always see a lot of dead people around. I want to make sure I'm with the right spirit.
Right. Yeah. Well, he's also a practicing medium, so I thought, he might know better. And then he went on to say it was just an okay reading because I didn't bring in the evidence that he thought I should have.
Interesting. Well, listen, that sounds like, it sounds like you probably dealt with it fine. I feel like you were professional and just did the best you could.
But I have to mention, though, it just really threw me aback. It just kind of changed the energy. And then I happened to have a coaching session and with this woman, and she said, spirit works, they all work together for which you all need, and that working with the public is often much worse than working in a class or working with other mediums. So I'm guessing this is just kind of a preparation for working with the public. I've worked with the public before in other job capacities, and they can be a tough bunch. I do realize that. So I'm just wondering if this is kind of like prepping me for some curveballs I'm going to be getting in the future.
Well, what sense do you have about what it's prepping you for?
For that?
Yeah, I mean, I think, listen, when you have more experience giving readings, you run into more situations and you undoubtedly will have tricky sitters. Mm-hmm. I have the opposite experience. I feel like reading for people who aren't mediums is my favorite.
Okay.
And I must be lucky, but I attract people who are really kind. I rarely have. I did have some guy last week I didn't even know was a skeptic. He just sat there but then he just kept bursting into tears, and I was like, oh. And at the end, he wrote in his thing. He was like, oh, my partner made me do this. and I felt completely indifferent the whole time. So I was like, oh, I never would have known.
Oh, wow.
And then he was like, can I please have that recording of my mom? But even like sometimes you get skeptics and they won't necessarily say anything like this guy did last week, but that stuff just happens. I actually run into more of that with mediums than I do without people. And I think I feel that the practice of mediumship is very vulnerable. It's scary to get no's, and it's scary to feel like, oh, I'm getting this sense, but what if this is wrong? And sometimes you're in sensitive situations and you're pretty sure you know what you got, but you're not sure if you want to share the evidence because it might affect the person. I mean, there's so many reasons that I think it can really bring out people's will feel really vulnerable. And sometimes when people feel really vulnerable, they respond in ways that are kind of more having to do with the ego, you know, as self-protection.
Right, I understand.
So, it's probably what it was. It sucks, but people have issues sometimes, and then you get lucky enough to deal with them. But it sounds like you went with the flow, and you tried to be as flexible as you could, and you know, wanted to give you unsolicited critique at the end. And
it did take me aback, but that was a good learning experience. So
it is. And you know what? When I come across situations like that, the tool that I use is curiosity. I try to be like, interesting. So why? I would be like, so you feel I should have brought through other evidence? I'd love to know what other kinds of evidence, because that might be helpful for me. Go ahead and share with me what you think. Because maybe, you know, you can always learn stuff, even if you're learning in a way that's less enjoyable. So I just try to stay really curious about why people are why they are. And then I end up learning more and not taking it as personally. But sometimes I end up taking it personally, and then I just go and get afterward. A regular human. Bitch somebody about it.
Good idea. Thank you.
No problem. All right. Anybody else have something pressing they'd like to share, or shall we move on to clairaudience? Okay, let's move on to clairaudience. So, just a quick announcement, since just about everybody is here. There is no class next week and the week after. I've been announcing this at the beginning of the last 2 weeks.
Yes.
And I generally don't have breaks in class, but we are going to see our family across the pond. So I'm going to be with them, and I don't really want to get up at whatever time in the morning it would be to teach this class. Okay, so we're working with clairaudience today. I'm very excited. I'm doing a specific exercise for clairaudience with you that I haven't done in a very long time. So we're going to start out, we're going to sit in the power for maybe 3-4 minutes. Then we're going to go into this clairaudience exercise, which is about music today, which will be very fun. And then we're going to do a clairaudient reading and a mediumistic reading. All right. So this is the plan. A few words about clairaudience. I know you're all intermediate advanced, so you likely know all about clairaudience, which means clear hearing. Interesting fact, the more that I've studied different chakras associated with clairsenses, so the senses for clairaudience are like right around your temple area, but your clairaudience is associated with your throat chakra, so it's really interesting. Perhaps I've shared with you that before readings, I imagine all my chakra lights just like turning on. And then it feels like my clairsense is like, boop, for each one. And when I get to clairaudience, which is one of my favorite clairs, I focus on my throat chakra, and then I feel this like pop, like right around here in this area. So I was like, oh gosh, maybe that is where the sensors are. And it just feels all of a sudden like my awareness of being able to hear from this place expand. So if you'd like to focus while we do our sitting in the power meditation on your throat chakra and on this area right here, and imagining it kind of like opening up and expanding, that is something I really enjoy doing. Clairaudience is really powerful for so many things. It's the way that when I do get names, I get names clairaudiently. Some people get shown a picture of someone with the same name. That never happens for me, or very rarely. Usually I'll hear a name. Sometimes I'll hear the name of a condition. One time I was clairsentiently feeling like cold liquid going through all my veins, and then I heard dialysis. It was, in fact, this person had had dialysis. So I heard it that way. Another way that you might use clairaudience, let's say that somebody was in a car accident and you hear the screeching of a car. That could be something. Sometimes I will still see an animal that has passed. A past animal is in the arms of a past loved one. A running animal means it's still living, so it's a current pet of someone's. That was really my symbol for pet. Now I have really loud dog barking in my ear. that just started about a month ago. It was really funny. It was like the beginning of this reading, and I was like sensing someone, and then all of a sudden the mom stepped back and the dog was like, "Bah, bah, bah, bah." So there's different ways. So that's like a symbol of a clairaudient symbol. That is an example of a clairaudient symbol. Some people think symbols are only clairvoyant, right? That we're seeing different symbols, but you can hear them as well. So we're going to do a little bit of work today with the sound of laughter, the sound of someone's voice, like the timbre of their voice or the tone or the quality. Does it have a lilt in it? Something like this. You know, it's really interesting because sometimes when people pass away, often people save all their voicemails. Have you noticed that? It's like that happens because they just want to hear their voice again. Isn't that wild? And so that tells us how much clairaudience can bring to a reading if you're going to be able to identify the sound of their voice. And I did that once in a circle I was in. We had to focus on clairaudience, and I started hearing the sound of this person's voice. So I started talking about it, and it just brought tears to the person's eyes because it was like, oh my gosh, that's how real it felt for them to be there again. So just a few words on the power of this. Clairaudient people sometimes are very, very sensitive to noises. Who here feels like they can't stand loud noises? Am I the only person? I can't stand it. Yeah, a lot of mediums in general, right? Like, I just cannot stand it. Unfortunately, I have 2 children, but their sounds are not quite as bad as like clanging pots, or like the other day, Rob dropped a piece of silverware on a plate and it was so loud, and I was like, ah! Other clairaudient people will hear, they'll hear songs in their head all the time, like constantly. I don't get that as much. I have in the past, but I got a reading from a medium in a class who was so incredibly accurate and amazing. But it was kind of a weird situation. She was fantastic, but she just would sing a phrase of a song and then say, oh, this. So like the whole reading was like, she goes, Johnny be good. Oh, his name's John. And I was like, his name is John. And she went on to like the next song and the next song. And it was like, a lot of them were like oldies. And I was like, I can't believe how you're doing this. This is amazing, but it's kind of also hilarious. I feel like I'm watching a Broadway show. So anyway, it just was the most bizarre situation, but that's other ways that you can get information. So I want us to open our mind to all the possibilities, and there's so many more, but there's some things to think about. Let's go ahead and ground and center ourselves as we start our work today. Get yourself comfortable. Focus on your breath. Just paying attention to it, letting it be. And with every exhale, do your best to release thoughts, distraction, tension, worries. Perhaps even bring yourself to a state of gratitude if that feels good to you today. Gratitude for being able to meet in this way to practice what I believe is one of the coolest art forms of all time. We get to come together and work on bringing through spirit. It's amazing and sensational. With every exhale, I just want you to feel like you're letting go of something, and you don't even need to know what the something is. Just know that you're releasing stuff you don't need. Every exhale, something else that's not helping you just fades away. Tension, distractions, thoughts. And right away on your inhale, you're going to expand your spiritual energy. And you're going to invite the spirit world to come and blend with you right away, as if there's this moment that you have in your control to make that ever so subtle mediumistic shift. You can use the cue words bigger, brighter, higher if that works for you. just this shift that all of a sudden you become aware of the spirit world, and while your energy is expanding and growing, the spirit world is coming to blend with you. What kind of sensations might you have if you do? Is it a feeling of being cared for, loved? Maybe it's heat, maybe it's cold. I wish it was cold because it's hot as a handbasket over here. Every inhale, your energy expands and blends. Every exhale, you become more of a clear channel. Inhale, expand. Exhale, relax. Inhale, blend. Exhale, let go. I'll leave you here for 2 minutes. All right. Go ahead and bring your attention back to the room when you're ready. In the meantime, I am doing my absolute best to see if I can figure out how to share this music with you. Give me one moment. Okay, hold on. So what we're going to do is we are going to listen to some music, and what I'm going to ask you to do is pay attention to just one instrument at a time, and not the vocals, because the vocals are pretty easy to listen to. I hope I'm doing this right. Oh my gosh. Hold on a second. Oh, video file. Okay, cool. Computer audio. Great. I think I did it. We'll just see if this happens. So you're just gonna listen to one thing, and I'm gonna actually play you a song from one of my dear friends. This was our walk into the wedding song, but there's different instruments. There's piano, there's drums, there's bass, there's horns, there's a vocalist. So go ahead and pick one that you have to really listen beyond to hear every single note. And not all the instruments start right away, okay? This is a really cool clairaudient exercise. Every time I listen to music, not every time, because sometimes I just want to enjoy the song, but a lot of times I'll listen to just an instrument that's in the background. Classical music is really good for this too, but I didn't really feel like classical today, so we didn't do that. Okay, so tell me if you can hear this when I start to play it, if it's nice and loud and clear. How easy was it for you to isolate one instrument, right? Okay, I feel like I actually started with the drums and then I got seduced by the horns. And so did anyone else jump from one instrument to the other? Okay. Okay, we're gonna try it one more time. And this time, what I want you to start is you're gonna start, imagine your chakra, if you didn't already do this, your throat chakra lighting up. And as soon as I do that, I actually feel my temples. That's this place. So I just want you to imagine that for a second. And this time we're gonna listen one more time and you're gonna go for a different instrument that's not as easy to hear this time around. Are we ready? Let's take a moment. See that throat chakra light up. Feel those clairaudient receptors open up.
What a day this has been, what a rare mood I'm in.
All right. How was it the second time? What instrument did you switch to? Share. Go, Kristen. Unmute yourself. Wait, Kristen, you're muted, my dear. Natalie, you can unmute for next. Go for it. Natalie, why don't you start? Oh, never mind. Kristen.
Okay, I got it. All right. So the first time I isolated each instrument while I was listening to it, like I went from each one. And what was interesting was I saw someone actually playing that instrument as well.
Yeah.
But I lost track when I was doing it the first time. I kept losing track of the piano. So this time I focused on listening to the piano because that was the hardest one to hear.
It is because it's with the horns a lot of the time, so it's hard to hear.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So that was a really, really cool exercise.
It is really cool. It just makes you like focus your attention when you want to hear. Natalie and then Michelle.
The first time I felt like I was having an ADHD crisis. I was just like, whoa. But then I was listening to the horns. And then the second time I was halfway through, I was like, oh my God, imagine there's not a bass guitar. But I was really trying to pay attention to the bass guitar. So I hope there was one.
There was. I did bass second time. And the part where she goes, oh, the music of life seems to be, then you can hear it and it's like a boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
A walking bass line. Yep. Michelle.
So at first I kind of got gravitated to the trumpet.
Yeah.
And then on the second round, I still was on the horns, but I thought I was hearing a saxophone.
Yes, you are.
And so it's a horn, but it's a different horn, right?
Yeah.
Like
we have trombone, saxophone, and trumpet.
Yeah. So
if you can pick out those from each of them, it's hard to tell, but yeah, right. It's just a fun thing to do. There's so many different ways, Elizabeth, to kind of work with your clairaudience.
Was there a clarinet or just a saxophone?
I don't know.
Because I was getting all swirled up in that. I was like,
it's possible.
Is it a clarinet? And then yeah.
I don't know why. I'm just going to share this picture in case you saw a certain person. I'm just going to show you a picture. So this is Joelle. We're not actually really close anymore, but she sang for my wedding. And then these are the three guys, and they are amazing. Like they all play all different kinds of instruments. So I'm wondering if if you saw any of these people, they look like this. Kudos to you. But I don't know about clarinet. I feel like usually it's just horns and no reed, but I wouldn't put it past one of them to pick it up. So, yeah. Anyway, you can. I'm knocking things off my desk. You can do any kind of thing you want. Now, there's some that are really tricky. Like I have another friend who it does arrangements for Broadway musicals, and she just has something out on Off Broadway, and it's like very hard to hear any of their instruments because they're blended together so tightly, and then the voice is really pronounced. So you can do songs like that that are a little more challenging. I think classical is a great place to go because they're so, like in a symphony when you're listening, right, or something like this, you can hear a lot of different instruments. So it's pretty cool, pretty fun. Just a good way to wake up your clairaudience. So here is what we're going to do today. I want to make sure that I'm messaging this to everybody. Main chat. Okay, here we go. So you're going to do a clairaudience psychic reading today with your partner to start. And you're going to start out the same way that you usually do, right? Where you're blending your energy field with your partner's energetic field, okay? So you're starting that first. And we're going to do a couple different things. You may have heard your partner's voice before, but have you heard the sound of their laugh? So you're going to go for the sound of their laugh, okay? And different people have different laughs. I mean, like, I've got a giggle, then I've got like a truck stop laugh, then I've got like a, different things like this. Then you're going to go to a genre of music or even a favorite song, okay? Noises associated with their home, and I wrote not just the birds because I know that people hear birds as like a very accessible thing. It may totally be true, and yet I'd love you to go more detailed than just the bird. It's not that you can't say, oh, you have a lot of birds out your window, because somebody may be like, they're so loud here, and that may make sense. The sound of a living person's voice who they communicate with often. Okay, so like if they're talking to, if you get the sound of my mom's voice, for instance, a recent conversation they had with this person. Can you hear what was spoken about? All right. So those are the things we're gonna put our attention on. And again, if some of your other clairs come in, like you see the person talking and you get a feel for them, great. What does their voice sound like? So you're just gonna keep cueing yourself by saying, now what does that sound like? Now what does that sound like? Okay. Couple questions. Anastasia, are you gonna observe only? Okay, Anastasia's in transit. Okay, so she is going to observe. Liana, are you up and running? Are you doing okay with sound?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great.
I'm on. Yeah, I had a little technical difficulty, but I'm good. Yeah.
Great. Then Anastasia, I'm just going to put you in a room as a third person, and you can just observe. Okay. So we're going to go to, it should be 6 rooms if I'm doing my math correctly. Okay. Let me see. I'm gonna switch you. Okay. Has anybody here been with someone a lot, many times? Speak now or forever hold your peace. All right, cool. So I'm gonna move you into room 1, and I'm gonna move you into room 2. Bingo, bango, baby. Okay, here we go. Oh, Kristen, yes.
Am I gonna turn my camera off?
You know what? Let's do that. Let's turn cameras off. Let's not respond at all. Let's just have you speak into the silence. Okay? It will still be less scary than Linda's sitter last week. Maybe not less scary. Okay. I'm gonna give you 8 to 10 minutes each way. I'll be wandering through. Don't finish early, use speed readers, use all of your time. You can always go into more detail, okay? And challenge yourself. Here's the thing too, I just have to say
Christopher,
this
the
one
wings
thing.
are mine.
I mean, I feel like everyone's been like scared shitless when they go to read. They're like, oh, I don't want to say that if I'm gonna get it wrong. But listen, this is the place to go ahead and get it wrong. If they're like, no, I understand it, be like, okay, great, I'm gonna move on. You know, just keep giving the things that you get, because the purpose is not to get every exercise spot on. That defeats the purpose of learning. The purpose of the exercise is to be able to tell when a psychic impression feels like it's very resonant and you're like, oh yeah, versus when it's, you know, of of your active mind. And the other thing too is you want to set intention, right? Because sometimes you're getting a psychic impression, you're really getting it, but it's attributed somewhere else. Okay, so sitters, be generous. Let's say that they say something about a conversation you had and it was like, oh, it wasn't with that person, but I was thinking this earlier, just so they have some idea of like where the psychic impression is coming from. Okay, does this all make sense to people? Here we go. Bada bing, bada boom.
Hi.
Hello. It's nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Okay, do you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
You can go first.
Okay, sounds good. You can turn off your video and then we'll go.
Alrighty.
Do you mind if I blend with your energy? I'm sorry, I didn't ask you that first.
Of course you can. Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, that sounds good. Okay. Regarding the sound of your laugh, I get the feeling that you're really, really good at belly laughs. You really like to laugh out loud. You feel it in every part of your body when you laugh. In fact, you can use your whole body while you're laughing. Your arms kind of get all into it, and your hands. Even the expression of your eyes really go along with it. I get the feeling that you really like to laugh a lot. So regarding a favorite song or genre, the first thing that came to me right off the bat was you like that old rock music. not the heavy metal, but maybe just the old rock. No, I'm getting a little of both. Like, I'm not good with bands or songs, but I'm seeing, like, for instance, like the old Bon Jovi, but you also like the era of the I'm even hearing Huey Lewis song or Rod Stewart. You like those kinds of things. You also like to listen to music in other languages. So I'm getting that for the music and the songs and the genre. Regarding the noises associated with your home, I get the feeling that what I'm hearing is that it's a very active, vibrant, a lot going on in the home. I'm hearing kids running around, and everybody can tend to be loud a lot in the house, and that's very comfortable, and that's homey for you to feel that, to hear them talking and laughing throughout the house. The sound of a living person's voice. I do pick up that I'm hearing a man's voice, but he's a younger, maybe teen, not very old, late, maybe early teens. I'm hearing about a conversation. I am hearing a conversation of finishing up what they needed to do, completing their homework, kind of some back and forth with that. I also get the, regarding the voices, I do hear also conversations you have with a partner, a male voice, and I hear the conversations regarding what you want to do, your goals, where you want to go, and if y'all's goals are in line with what each one of you want to do. Back and forth with that. So a recent conversation, we talked about that. I'm hearing that. Let me see what else I get. I get this, I did hear regarding the noises within your house, and this really wasn't a noise in the house, but I did get the hearing or the sense that you like to do incense or burning, or you have some kind of candles that you have candles. And so, but regarding the noises, I hear the TV running in the background. I hear the cars going by outside the window. I don't know if you've had rain recently. I'm hearing raindrops outside. There's been some rain recently. I hear pots and pans in the kitchen of cooking, putting together meals. It just seems like an active, loving, vibrant, busy household. That's what I'm getting the sense of, and the hearing of it. I'm hearing conversations about frustrations, about you're feeling like overwhelmed, doing too much, wanting some help from people. What else? you're not the only one in the family that has that really good, boisterous kind of belly laugh. You feel it all over. There's a couple other people in your household that really are like that too, because I'm hearing several people together doing it. I like to have funny conversations, say funny things. Let's see what other. I don't know if you have a younger child. I sense that I'm hearing like a conversation that very loving and supportive of a younger one. Trying to bolster them up with giving them support. I'm hearing that conversation. Every once in a while I get like a horn, maybe from the outside. I don't know if you live somewhere that has a busy street nearby. Let's see. What else do I hear? I'm hearing you humming to yourself. Like songs that come into your head. You can get them stuck in your head and you'll think about it throughout the day and hum it.
All right, I'm going to give you 3 minutes to give feedback and then we will switch. So go ahead and start feedback now.
Oh, so the belly laugh is very correct. Everyone in my household is very animated. So eyes, belly, expressive. We're very expressive people. My husband, myself, and all three of my kids are very expressive with our faces. So yes, that is correct. Laughter is everything to me. I'm always laughing, finding humor, some kind of way. So that is correct. The old rock, I'm not a rock person, but I do like all music. I appreciate all music. I like more like soulful music. I can't hear you.
Okay.
Creative, active, vibrant, a lot of kids running. I have 2 teenagers and a 21-year-old daughter. So yes, the voices of the teenagers constantly. Yes, we have a lot of sound sometimes. I don't mind it because I'm used to it, but I prefer quiet because I am a nurse, so I hear a lot of noise at work. So when I come home, it's like,
You're tired.
I'm tired.
Emotionally exhausted.
Yeah, so I try to my piece is everything to me. The conversation, my son and I did have a conversation before class about his online classes. So yes, that was right. Conversation with my husband with goals. Yeah, we do that like any other married couple. I wouldn't say recently, but we're kind of aligned with what we're trying to do. TV running. Yep. Candles. I love candles and incense infusers. That's my jam. Pots and pans, funny conversations. The Huey song you had talked about is funny because I did hear one yesterday, so that was accurate. I don't live near well, I guess I do, but I live in a community, so I don't live right by the busy street. But horns. It hasn't rained in a couple of days here in Florida, but cars, yeah, the typical things you hear outside. But yeah, so I think you got some things on there, especially the belly laughs and stuff. I think that was where you picked up my the personality of the house. That was really good. So yeah,
Okay.
that was really good.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, of course, you did great. So let's see. I got to get my vibration up high. I'm tired.
You're good.
I just did a couple shifts, so I'm trying to
Get into the groove. I know.
Yeah, today I'm a little tired. Can I blend with your spirit?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Of course you can.
So with you, Miss Leslie,
All right. That 3 minutes is up, so go ahead and switch. You have 8 minutes.
8 minutes. That's a long time. The blend. Okay, sound of the laughter. I feel like you have a very. I wouldn't say like it's. You have a type of laugh from what I'm hearing. It's like. I wouldn't say you have a belly laugh, but when you laugh, you have a great laugh. Like, you know, it's very, I'm hard with expressing things sometimes, but like, if I have a belly laugh, it's like, if something is funny, you will give it all the energy, but if something is not, you might give it like a little smirk and a little, you know, I don't find that you like do a dramaticness like maybe I would do it, but I find like, you know, you'll give it you I feel like express more with your smile. And so I would say, like, if we were having a conversation and it was something that you might find humorous, you would give it a little chuckle. But if something was really funny, you don't mind letting it out, right? So I feel like that kind of thing with your laugh. But I feel I kind of find you to be like on the quieter, serious side. Is kind of what I'm picking up with your energy. I feel like you're very sensitive to other people's emotions and stuff, and you almost kind of give me therapist vibes, if that makes sense. But I feel like, you know, you're a good listener. You're a very good listener. I feel like you take your time with someone. I feel like your energy is very soft and you take your time with people. As far as your music, just like you, I'm not very good at genres and stuff, but I almost feel like you like classical music. I get like a classical vibe about you, and I feel like you appreciate some nice music and maybe a nice glass of wine. Like I sense this like almost like hopeless romantic, like, you know, that vibe, fireplace and maybe a little bit of light candles, and, you know, you just like a very relaxing, calm environment. I feel like that's what I get with your household. I feel like it's very calm. I don't find it to be chaotic. I feel like I do kind of, I feel like I hear like some jazz. But I also feel like what comes through for me is, I don't know what kind of music it is, and maybe Mel can point it out, but kind of like when you go to a nursing home, you kind of hear that classical upbeat music, you know, like kind of like what we heard today. Like, I feel like you appreciate instruments. But I feel like I have the more feeling of like the jazz feel, like you like that era of jazz. Noises that would be associated with your home. I don't hear a lot of noises. I feel like I said, I feel like it's a very calm and serene environment. I feel like if I hear maybe the birds outside, I feel like I don't hear television. I may hear some light music. What else associated? I do hear that maybe you and your husband will have these conversations, but I feel like you guys speak very softly. I don't pick up that you have loud, strong voices, you know, like my household have. But I do feel like you guys are just very much, I pick up just seriousness. I feel like there's a lot of seriousness in your household. And I don't feel like the voice with your husband, I don't hear that he has a very deep voice, but I pick up he has a way with words. Like, I feel like his wording, he's very clear with what he wants, what he says. I don't pick up that he's a man of many words, but when he says something, you know exactly what he means. I feel like as well with him, like he's kind of, you know, observant. man of very few words. I don't hear children. I did kind of pick up maybe small animals like a cat. I don't know if you have a dog because I'm not sensing dog. I feel like maybe 2 cats is what I was picking up. I don't sense a dog, but I could be wrong. What else? A conversation that you might have had with a person. I feel like you're having a conversation of a upcoming trip. I feel like you're very much into detail, and I feel like, kind of going over what is going to happen on this trip. I just see you like very organized. Organization is key for you. I don't see you living in a messy house. I hear, you cleaning. I don't know if I almost hear like, I see you like crafting something. I don't know if you do stitching or yarn work with some type of yarn work, but I just feel I just feel like you're in a very relaxed environment. I do feel that maybe there was some conversation in charitable work, like you doing something with the public. Maybe you're involved in your church or in some type of organization. What else do I feel? What else? Let me see what I can find. Raising conversation, the sound of a living person, noises. I just get a good sense of person from you. Like I feel like you're just a giving person. I feel like you're very much involved with your community. I don't feel like you share a whole lot about your personal life, but you're definitely a ear for someone if they need it. What else? Trying to think, what else am I picking up? I feel like there's something to do with plants because I can hear water. I don't know if you were doing yard work here recently, but I feel like if I was to pass by your house, your plants would be like, I would be like, that's a really nice yard. Like I feel like you like your yard to look a certain way. So I feel like I hear you outside working with the plants, with the garden, making sure everything. I think what I pick up is like, I hear you liking things a certain way. I pick up organization. What else? Just like I just feel like you're always organizing something. I don't know why I feel like everything has a place for it.
All right, you have 3 minutes for feedback, including when I close the breakout rooms. Here we go.
I'm probably so wrong.
You are fantastic. You did wonderful. So regarding the laugh, you're right. I do like to chuckle, when I think things, but when something is like, then I'll and it's a very short one.
Yeah.
Then I'll chuckle. You're right about that, totally. Sensitive to emotions, very much so. I almost have to block myself because I can kind of read and pick up, and it can be disturbing sometimes. The music thing, it's funny you said it because you mentioned classical and jazz, and right off the bat I was like, oh no, I don't like jazz. But then the funny part is that I have a soundtrack of meditation. I don't know if you've heard of Stanton Lanier, where it's musical instruments. And so when I'm meditating or I need something calm, I'll put that album on. But that's usually, if somebody asked me what kind of genre, I wouldn't even consider that. So when you said that, I was like, no, I don't like jazz. I'm like, wait a minute, I do have that soundtrack that I put on. I like the Sheryl Crow, the Bob Marley, things like that. But I do have that I meditate to. The calm household, you are right about that. We only have one child left that's 20, but he lives in the mother-in-law suite outside the house. So it's just me and my husband in the house. You mentioned no TV. I will watch TV for little bits in the evening, but you are right about that. I'd rather not have the TV on at all because, the noise bothers me really bad. The husband talks in a calm voice. Yes, he's a man of few words, but when he talks, that's exactly him. And when he has an opinion, usually it's my way all the time, but when he does have his say, then it's serious. You mentioned a cat. I have a cat and I have 2 dogs. You mentioned like 2 cats. I'm like, okay, so a cat and 2 dogs. So that was pretty good. Yes. We got the cat because we need to get rid of the rats, but we ended up adopting it and now we love it. You mentioned upcoming trip. Perfect. We're leaving in 2 weeks to go to Europe. We're going over all the details. Not a messy house. You're right. You mentioned crafting. I don't knit or sew, but I always have a project going on.
Okay.
So, always. So you were spot on. Not sharing about my life. Very few people know about what I'm doing here, and this is something I'm struggling with to share to find my tribe. Regarding the plants, I was just cleaning out and redoing my front yard area this past week. I like things a certain way. Yes. Organizing, you were right on. We're going to be building a house. And so I've been going room by room, cleaning out and getting rid of everything. Awesome. You did amazing. It was perfect. It was awesome.
Thank you. And my vibration is not that high, so you can imagine.
No. Well, I sense some energy away. I'm like, open it up for her. So give her.
I appreciate it. I need all of it. I enjoyed you so much.
That was wonderful. That was fun. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll see you on the other side. All right. Bye.
Okay.
Good.
Right? Isn't it so cool, all the stuff you can do with sound? And how much, I think sometimes we forget how much a sound can tell us about somebody. You know what I mean? And not just like, oh, you're a coffee drinker, I hear the coffee grinder, or whatever, something, but also like, something about their sounds of music or what's going on in their house, things like that. Does anybody want to share something fun that happened for them? Or interesting, surprising?
Oh, I had something really wild.
And? Yeah, tell us.
Oh, okay. So I named all the music that Liana listens to, but there was one particular album that her mother used to listen to when she was pregnant, and she would hear it it was when she said she heard it in the womb.
That's crazy.
Wow, that's wild, man.
And you knew the album?
Yeah, I named the album. And she said her mother listened to it all the time. Yeah. Cool.
My gosh, that's awesome. I love it. Natalie and then Michelle.
I think I'm always surprised anytime I get anything, but it was really interesting to be able to really hone in on hearing a conversation. It almost feels a little nosy, but to hear a conversation and to be validated that what I'm saying was exactly what was being said, and then who it's being said with. I thought that was so interesting. Surprised myself.
It's really cool, and this is a really useful. I don't just give you this piece of evidence for shits and giggles. I mean, wouldn't it be cool to hear the final conversation someone had?
Yeah.
So that's a really great way to use that one. Michelle.
So Melissa was right on so many things, I think, throughout my being here, but she just was able to differentiate my superficial laugh between my deep guttural ridiculousness of a laugh that I have. And I found it very interesting that she tapped in and heard a little what she called a cricket, but she wasn't really aware that I had my husband come back from a trip. Specifically, I asked for stickers of the national frog of where I'm from, and they're cookies, and they sound like crickets, but she could hear they were not they were far away from an urban area where you hear them more in the rural countryside. So
That
It
is
was
so
just
cool.
very specific, so that's pretty cool.
Very cool. I love. Who here considers themselves dominantly clairaudient, or is one of your dominant clairs?
Oh,
Right.
definitely.
Cool. Very cool. Awesome. All right. Here's what's next, y'all. Clairsentient mediumistic reading. You are going to set an intention to become aware of an easily recognizable past loved one, because I'd really like you to be able to know things about this person, this past spirit, and validate them. And it's going to look quite similar. The sound of the spirit's voice, the sound of the spirit's laugh, a favorite song. I wrote song symbol or genre of music. And what I mean by that is maybe they had a favorite song, but also maybe some people have a song and when it plays, it's literally like a sign from their past loved one. Some people don't have that, but if they do, and favorite genre of music, right? And some of you were going further and getting albums or artists or things like that. Noises associated with their home before passing, final words before passing, or final conversation that the sitter had with the spirit. So Natalie, that's exactly what I was talking about when, yeah, final things that might have been spoken about. It's supposed to be hard, but have a lot of fun with this. For the person that you're with, does anyone feel like they've already read the person like multiple times? Are we good? Then I'm going to keep you in the same groups, okay?
I mean, Claire, you want us doing clairsentient or you want us doing clairaudient?
Oh, I'm lying. I mean clairaudient. I just didn't change that from last week, so just ignore that. It's clairaudient. All the sounds, yep. Sorry if that was confusing. Leslie.
And cameras are off again?
Let's see. Let's do cameras off, but you can respond verbally. Okay. So we're gonna do cameras off, but you can. And so when you're doing it, we haven't talked about this a lot because again, in development circle, I feel like I can't smush the whole enchilada in. But when it comes to presentation, it's really best if you bring through at least 3, 5 or 6 pieces of evidence and then ask for validation. Now, sometimes mentors will tell you not to do that because if you're off track, they're gonna, you're not going to know which piece of evidence is off, but just be a clear communicator. If you say, okay, I'm sensing that your mom is here. I'm actually getting the fact that she was really, really close with you and your sisters. This is a woman heavy family. Do you understand what I'm bringing through so far? And they say, no. Then you're going to say, all right, I'm certain that I have your mother here though, and that she would be passed. And it feels like you had a good relationship. Do you understand that? Yes, I do. Okay. And then is it the sister part that you don't understand? Yes. All right, would you understand if it was a bunch of your girlfriends coming over to the house and your mom hanging out with you guys? Yes, now that makes sense, right? So you have to just go back through. But if someone says no to me and I brought through a bunch of evidence, I will stop and just say, okay, do you understand most of what I said? And then they'll be like, yeah, almost all of it. And I'm like, okay. And then I'll recap. Okay, because this feels strong to me, this feels strong to me, this feels strong to me. You get all that, right? Yes. Is it just this part? So you got to manage the reading in that way. Does that make sense? It's better if you are like, okay, I sense a mother. Is your mom passed? She seems nice. Was she nice? Like not between every section, a body of evidence, then asking. And sitters, I haven't really talked about this enough, but only please only answer in yes, no, maybe. Do not feed your medium because then it just makes their brain turn on. Okay, you'd rather they have less information the better. If they get really stuck, then they'll ask you a clarifying question, or if you get really stuck, you can ask a clarifying question. Okay, I'm going to give you 12 minutes each way at least. All right, so you're going to go as deeply as you can. If you get through all of them, I want you to go through a second round. If you go deeply through 2 rounds and you still have time, you can go on to a message that you hear. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Hey, we're back.
Do you want to go first this time or you want me to?
Whatever floats your boat, whatever you choose this time.
Okay, I'm going to be brave even though I don't want to. I'm going to go first even though I... No, you go first. Do you mind if I merge with your energy and
Of
invite your
course.
loved one in? Okay,
I would love
good.
to.
Okay. Set the intention. My spirit team come through. I ask that someone of Erica's loved ones to please come through. So I am hearing a gentleman, either father or grandfatherly energy stepping forward. And what is his laugh? His laugh was, he liked to have a few chuckles, but he tend to be I'm hearing him just a man of few words, quiet kind of, but he would like to chuckle. He enjoyed laughter and humor, but it wasn't a huge, outgoing, loud kind of laugh. I am, regarding the songs that this gentleman, this father or grandfather, I think is there I'm sensing a father, it's a grandfather on the father's side. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Regarding the songs, let me ask him what kind of songs he likes. I'm hearing the old like Elvis, Johnny Cash. I'm seeing him. The reason why he's kind of standing with some jeans, but I'm asking him, tell me to hear it. I don't want to see it. Yeah, but he's saying the old kind of music like that. He loved that kind of music. I'm not good with names but it's the old kind of country where the same Johnny Cash kind of genre. Regarding noises associated with his passing, grandfather, I'm hearing that he had people around him when he passed, but it was quiet in the room. I'm hearing that he's saying that he was asleep towards the end, where he didn't wake up for hours or days, but he very much heard people around him talking, and family that came in to visit. What are you trying to say? He liked to hear the conversations that was going on, but he didn't always actively join in on them, but he enjoyed listening to them. I am hearing, was your grandmother still alive when he passed? Does that make sense?
I didn't know my dad's dad, but I know a little bit about him. I know that, yeah, she was still living. Yeah.
Okay, because I sensed that there was a loving presence that was holding on to his hand. Does it make sense that he, do you know much about his passing, to be honest?
A little bit,
since you said you didn't know very
but
much.
they weren't together.
Okay.
They weren't together when he passed. I know I'm
Okay.
not supposed to feed the medium, but I don't want you to waste a lot of time on
Okay.
him.
No, that's okay. I need to hear that. The final words, I'm hearing that he had some heart issues, and I am hearing that he had comforting words being spoken to him prior to his passing. Go back to the sound of the voice. Like I said, I think I get the sense that he was just kind of not a very loud, boisterous man, but just kind of a quiet man, that loved, he loved being around and hearing conversations and being around all that. I get the sense that he lived in a quiet house prior to being sick. He lived alone, because he's telling me it was very quiet he's kind of, I'm hearing that he liked to maybe have the TV on low or maybe play a little music, but other than that, it was very quiet within the house. I am hearing that he stays close to one of your sons. He's showing me one of your sons I'm getting off track. I'm sorry. Let me follow the messages. Let me go through these, then we'll get to that. So noises associated with, I can see the picture, but I'm not really good at the clairaudience part, but
The wings are mine.
it's not the Johnny Cash.
The wings are mine.
It's the other guy was in that same area. He's showing me a picture of
Okay.
him, and I'm trying to think as what his name is. But anyway, he liked that kind of music. I get, I'm hearing that he worked in some kind of like with machinery. I'm seeing like cars and tires and like a manufacturing, that he had good buddies. So I'm hearing him kind of laugh and joke and talk with all these other gentlemen that's with him. I get the feeling, I'm hearing he adored your father, but was a man of few words. So he probably didn't speak up say things as much as he probably should have. He tended to be more on the quiet side about that. Noises associated.
So Miss Leslie, I think you're with my mom's dad.
Mom's dad. Okay.
Yeah. So
I'm
a
glad
lot
you
of the
did that.
things you're saying hits with my mom's dad. My dad's dad,
Oh.
my dad didn't know his dad and I didn't know his dad. So
Okay,
when
so it's your mom's.
Yeah, you're definitely with my mom's dad. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so some of the things that I mentioned about him being kind of a quiet man,
Yes.
man of few words, that was very similar. Okay, that he kind of withheld his words and his hugs, but okay.
I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, I'm glad, because at least I kind of can like
Yes.
pinpoint and
Yes.
say, okay, I get it. So let's see. He is, like I said, he's showing me like his last few days. Was he in somewhere where the family was around, where he was not awake? He didn't pass suddenly. I get the sense that there was some time from the time. Okay. Because he is showing me a lot of people standing around his bed and some holding his hand and kind of talking in his ear. But he said he heard everything. And he loved it, and he didn't miss any conversations that everyone was having around him. I'm hearing that. He was a gentle spirit. I get the sense that he was a gentle soul. I also get the sense he had some struggles that he was dealing with, maybe some demons he was dealing with, like maybe alcohol or something like that. That's see, now I have to, because that's not my strength, so I have to go back to no, just let me hear you. Like I'm sensing all this each time, but okay. Grandpa, you gotta send it to me so I can hear it.
Yeah, hearing is
show
not my
picture.
thing either.
Yeah, I'm seeing pictures, like he showed me a can of beer, and so I got the drink, and then I heard demons, so I'm like, okay, it's like piecing together. I get the sense that he adored his daughters. Did he have more than one? A lot of adoration. I get the sense that let's see. I'm sorry. Let me get back to the questions, because he's like going on and on about all this other stuff. Okay, wait, Grandpa. Associated with passing. Well, we already talked about the noises. Let's see. What final conversations did they have? I get the sense that he didn't say very much, but he was very emotional, where the tears would come, and that he knew that he was coming to an end, but he was very distraught because he saw his kids around him that were really, really having a hard time with this. So he's making me, and I say I'm going to the feeling part. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's part of it. You blend together.
So hard to get, yeah, because he's making me feel like there's so much love, but you know, like almost like he's showing me he just wanted to scoop him up and hug him, but you know, he was past that point. He was weaker. Was he weak towards the end?
Mm.
Yeah, but he's felt what's that word I'm trying to say? Tell me in words what you're trying to say. Helpless.
Mhm.
Helpless, that he felt helpless, that he wanted to take their pain away and discomfort, and but knew that it was coming to an end, and he was very sad about that.
Mhm.
He was a hard worker. He's showing me he was a very hard worker. He did his best to provide for his family. I'm getting that. So favorite song, simple song.
All right. So I'm going to ask you to go ahead and give feedback now. You have 3 minutes. Here we go.
Yes. So I believe you were my mom's dad, especially when you said that he would chuckle. Spot on. He would chuckle when he laughed. It wasn't a very loud laugh, but you knew he loved laughter, even though he kind of had that resting face. I don't want to say the word, but
He was kind of,
yeah, he's not as expressive as the rest of the family, but he would when he would laugh, you know, and that was kind of his laugh. He definitely loved laughter. He loved old music. We're Puerto Rican, so that I can see him liking that music. But he didn't listen to a whole lot of English music, but something that had, you know, some band in it of some form, yes. So I related it to that. When he,
because I picked up in your reading about the listening to other
yeah.
songs.
Mhm.
I was like, okay, that's interesting. But I didn't get Tejano. Because I was like, it's not Tejano, but now I know.
Yeah. So he did like music that had bands in it and things like that. So that's our rock and roll, you know. Having different instruments. What else? Favorite song, symbols, genre, music, noise, so he did live alone towards the end. So he did live alone when his partner passed away. He lived by himself, and he loved quiet. He was very much into having the TV very low. He liked to be by himself. But then when he did have an addiction to alcohol, so you were right on the money with that.
Okay, I'm sorry. It was up for a little bit, and it disconnected. Okay.
Yes. He had an issue with alcohol. He actually died of liver cancer. So I'm sure at the end the heart was included with that. They kind of all jammed together. But all of us were around him when we found out he was sick. He actually found out he was sick on my birthday. And then he lasted 6 months. But towards the end, the last 24 hours, he got to where he couldn't speak anymore. And my grandmother was actually there. My mom's mom was there when he passed.
Okay.
So I wouldn't doubt that she held his hand and stuff like that, because even though they had been separated for over 40 years, they still were good friends. And so at the end, she was still there when he passed away. So that was right on. You were right on a lot of stuff. It was just the wrong grandfather.
Yeah.
But you know, they all blend in.
Picking up with the family.
And it could be my father's dad is there, because I really don't know. I know he did die of heart issues, so of diabetes and also alcohol related stuff. So he could have been there too. I just don't know enough about him to say yes, that was him. So they could have blended together. What else? The final words and passing and stuff, I'm sure everybody was very much, I left a few weeks before he had passed, but I was very much on the phone with them.
All right. I saw some wonderful things happening in the rooms. It's time to go ahead and switch. So you have 12 minutes. Here we go.
You did wonderful. You did a great
Thanks,
job.
Irma.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. And it's hard to separate those Claires. Usually they work with each other. So.
Big time. Okay, I'll turn off.
All right. Let's see what we get. Okay. Set the intention to connect with Leslie's loved ones, spirit, and please come close so that I can hear, see, and feel. Mm-hmm. Okay. So right away, I was picking up father figure. It could be grandfather, but I definitely know that it was a male. Makes me feel like it's dad, though. I feel like it is dad or dad figure. Let's see. Certain pieces of evidence, the sound of his voice. I sense a very soft-spoken voice. Almost like what I was saying about you being calm. I think the theme of this word was a man of very few words, because that's kind of what I'm getting. I feel like when he laughed, it was very. He had a contagious laugh that maybe he didn't speak very much, but I felt like I hear a laugh that when you hear it, you laugh. What else? Let's see what I'm getting. I'm asking him to come closer so that I can actually hear, because that's not my strongest suit. Is clear audience. Favorite song. Okay, so I was hearing, what's the guy with the long braids? Do you know what I'm talking
Willie
about?
Nelson.
Willie Nelson. That's what I was hearing. Willie Nelson. Not Dolly, but I think his name starts with a K.
Kenny Rogers.
Kenny Rogers.
That's my dad that you're talking to. Yep.
Okay. I knew that. I could see their face because I like Dolly. Just more commercial with Dolly. You know, I just think she's just a beautiful soul. But I was like, I can see Willie Nelson. I can see Kenny Rogers. I was like, it starts with a K. I just can't. It's just not my genre of music. Noises that are associated with him. I see a good pair of boots. Like, I feel like symbols. I'm trying to, it's, this thing of looking at a list and then going back to you is hard for me because I'm just pure, it just comes out like a love song, And so what I see with him is a good pair of boots, a symbol. I see this jacket. I'm going to say I hear this jacket. I hear like the music playing. If you want to get him excited, get him going, maybe if he's not having the best day, you would never know that he was not having a good day. I feel like he would lie about having a bad day. I'm not lying about having a bad day. I'm sorry. He would not let you know he was having a bad day. But if he was having a bad day, I hear this music playing. And that was kind of like a sign like, oh, Dad's got his music on. He's jamming, he's got and then if he was really feeling good, I feel like I hear the boots coming on, and I see this jacket, like a light tan jacket, maybe with a little bit of fringing on it, I don't know what kind of jacket, but I feel like when he was feeling good, there was a certain jacket he would put on. Noises associated with their home before passing. Okay, let's see. Noises. What I heard was, I heard like the teapot, like a kettle, you know, when it's ready. I hear the coffee maker. I feel like this was overnight things going on. I feel like this was, I almost hear like, and I'm gonna relate it to being a nurse, like dad wanted to come home. I feel like he passed at home. And I'm hearing, you know, family around him. I'm feeling like he would want you guys to have a good time regardless of him being sick. I feel like he was a very selfless man. This is what I'm hearing. But I hear like you guys talking about old stories about him and the little quirks about him that he would do that only dad would do, you know? Like I feel like, and I'm closing my eyes because I feel like clairvoyance is one of my permanent ones like you. But I want to be in with the moment so that I can hear the conversations that are happening within the family. I hear, like I feel like I hear hospice. Hear the hospice nurse or someone giving you instructions on how to care for him. I feel like he went home with hospice, or you guys decided to keep him home. And I feel, I know we're not supposed to do feel, but I feel towards the end he couldn't speak. Or it was very like whisper, like what you could hear. What else? The final words before his passing. I can't use the word I feel. I hear him mouthing, "I love you." I feel like you knew what he was trying to say when those moments of him saying goodbye. Like he knew that it was coming close, right? But I feel like maybe he wasn't one that said "I love you" a lot, but he showed it. But I hear in the whispering sound, "I love you," or mouthing, "I love you." Like he was speaking with his eyes as well. And I'm saying I'm hearing it because I feel like you could hear it. Even though he couldn't say it clearly, you could hear it in his voice. And then I hear the Willie Nelson and I feel like that was the music that was playing. I hear that music and I feel like when you hear that, you connect with him. And the words in the songs is like he's giving you a message. When you need to, I feel like dad is always around you, but if that song comes on or if you play that song, it's like dad talking to you. Like you get messages from that music, from that genre of music. What else? How did he pass? I'm trying to, noise associated with the passing. Associations with spirit. I don't know if there's anything I didn't say. What else? I feel like feel. I hear what do I hear? I hear there being something about a car. Like I hear I don't know if he had his favorite car or a favorite truck, some type of vehicle. And I feel like it almost feels like that last ride. Like you would see something at the end of the movie where there would be like a last ride. I feel like I hear the car rumbling and the sound of it, like it was passed down to someone else. And I hear like turn it on and, just something that made him smile. It was something that was just his jam. And I feel like I hear the car, I hear, I hear photo albums. I feel like the last things associated with his death is looking at old pictures. Like the old photo albums that had the plastic covering and you would put your little, 4x8s or whatever in there, 8x4s. I don't know what the actual thing, but the 4x6s, the smaller pictures, and you guys just kind of looking. I hear the photo albums, the pages going past, and you guys, pulling back that thin plastic where you can hear it, that old school photo albums, and you're peeling that picture off. I can hear that, and you guys just reminiscing of the full life that he had. Did she speak, or did you speak?
Yes. I was saying I remember those plastic things, but I remembered I wasn't supposed to say anything.
But yes, that old school, kept your picture nice, and I feel like you guys were looking at old pictures. What is this? I'm hearing like the Polaroid cameras. I feel like there was some fun pictures with a Polaroid camera. Like we discovered the Polaroid camera, now we're gonna take all these goofy pictures. And I feel like I'm hearing him saying, remember those memories, remember those fun things that we did, that I get to do now every day. I get to be in that moment. I hear him saying, like, every time you need to think of me, play the music, pull out the pictures. What else?
All right, it is time to give feedback. You have 3 minutes, including when the breakout rooms close.
That was fantastic.
Oh, good.
You did a wonderful job.
Thank
My
you.
dad is very soft-spoken. He's a calm and a man of very few words. He loved humor. He loved razzing us and giving us a hard time and laughing about it. He loved it. He loved Willie Nelson and Kenny Rogers. It's funny, I learned a couple things during your reading that I thought it was fantastic, because you mentioned his boots, wearing boots. Right away, he doesn't wear boots, but it was right after the song, and he loved to take us country dancing.
Okay, so that's what the boots were.
Yeah, he loved, right when you said boots, I knew right away what he was telling us, because I was like, he had 3 of us girls, so he loved to take all of us dancing. You never knew he had a bad day. Till the very end, we never even knew he was suffering. He just would never complain about anything. He did go home on hospice. We took him home on hospice, and it was an all-nighter for 2 nights. Yes, it was rough. He passed around all of us. We stayed with him the whole time, and very selfless man, very, very humble, selfless man. In the moments he could hear us going on, I mentioned the hospice. He couldn't speak. You were right, and he would whisper towards the last day before he didn't speak at all. He does send me music quite a bit for the signs that he sends me. And he did, our last conversation, he did tell me in his very quiet whispering that he was proud of me and he loved me. You mentioned a car or truck. It was a tractor.
Okay.
He loved riding us around on the tractor and riding the grandkids around on his tractor. He was heartbroken when he couldn't get on that anymore. You mentioned photo albums, looking through them. What's interesting about it is that I'm the one that put together his a photo slideshow at the Celebration of Life, and it was going through those albums, and I was scanning them to put them on the slideshow. And you're talking about Polaroids, because we have a couple Polaroids of him that was in the slideshow of, you know, that YMCA song, and they danced up like the Indian and the police.
Yeah.
Well, there's a Polaroid of him danced up as the Indian with the big old thing. So you did spot on. That was fabulous.
Oh,
It was
thank you. I love his spirit. He made me emotional because I just felt this big hug. Like, I feel like he just gave you this big hug, and I was like, he took the girls. I see him, like, you know, grabbing all of us at the same time and making sure that everybody felt embraced. That's what I felt.
Yeah.
Like I was one of the girls. Thank you, Dad, for coming through. Thank you so much for sharing them.
Yeah. He has shown up every single reading in the 2 years that I've been practicing and going through these. He's always the first one to show up. Always, always, always.
Yeah, because
So,
he's so
thank
proud
you.
of you and what you're doing. He's okay with it. So you need to be more okay with it.
You're right, I know.
Mhm.
Thank you so much, Erica. That was wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
I kept wanting to, I did total clairaudience, so I was only going by what I heard. And all this stuff was coming in, but I didn't want to say it. And it was, Linda was having a hard time placing this person. Had this not been a clairaudience and I stuck right to that, I think maybe I would have been able to create a better picture for her. But sticking just with what I'm hearing was, it's hard to do that.
What about anchoring the
But
link?
I learned a lot.
Yeah. Well, what about anchoring the link at the beginning?
At the beginning, I did not anchor it right away, but I did after I was into it.
Okay.
A couple of minutes. Yeah.
But then just some of the sounds that you heard us with that person didn't make sense.
Right, it was hard to place because it was hard for me to vocalize it too. You know, to vocalize the sound is
sometimes describing it can be tricky.
Challenging for me.
Yeah. Erica.
I was gonna say I connected with Leslie's dad, and I've never enjoyed a spirit so much.
Let's not tell people who people's stuff is. It's okay.
Oh, well, I've never
Just saying.
enjoyed a spirit so much.
Oh, good.
I told her I
Cool.
felt like he was embracing all of us at the same time, and it was so magical. It really was.
Oh,
we
that's
had such a
awesome.
good time. So
you matched up a lot of sounds then?
yes, I can. But for me, I feel like clairaudient and clear knowing together connects. Like all of mine's were, and I kept saying, I feel them. Wait a minute, I just don't want to get out of the moment. You know what I mean? Because I could see, but I could hear. I think that was one of the first time I heard Dad real loudly. Like he's like, nope, I'm not Granddad, I'm Dad. It was very, very
Isn't that
clear.
cool?
Yeah,
I love it when that happens.
it was wonderful.
Very cool. Great. All right, so you've been fully immersed today. One thing that I did notice today, this is an overall thing, so if I say it to you, it doesn't matter too much, but a lot of times with clairaudience, people will close their eyes a lot more than they usually do. Did anyone, I felt like I saw people closing their eyes more to kind of like hear things. So I totally get it. If I give you the note to kind of keep your eyes open, you know, don't sweat it. But I saw a lot more people closing because sometimes it's like, you know, like I think a lot of times we will like isolate clairvoyance naturally, but isolating clairaudience is something we don't usually do because there's almost always something attached to it. There's always claircognizance or clairsentience or something else, or even like clairvoyance attached to it, okay? All right, I'm gonna go straight into feedback. I'm gonna go straight to Michelle because Kristen.
So I, when I was reading my person, the same person came, like I read this, the same spirit was there last week because I had the same person last week. But the reason I was having such a hard time with the link was because she presented so differently.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Okay, so it's a new challenge for you.
Yeah.
You need new challenges sometimes. No worries. No worries. Okay, I'm gonna start with Michelle because Michelle, you have to leave early, right? Right on time. Okay. Okay, Michelle, for psychic, I liked the detail that you brought through in psychic where you said you're talking about like AirPods in her ears, but having it quiet enough so that she needed to be aware of the environment as well. And that actually felt really spot on to me. Melissa, does that make sense? Okay.
Yes.
That was really cool in the psychic reading for that. That was very cool. Also, Michelle, for your mediumistic reading, you actually you weren't focusing as much on clairaudience just the moment that I came in, but then you kind of shifted back to it again. So I thought that was good, just being able to direct your focus back. You heard the word uncle, and whether accurate or not, I don't care as much. Just being able to hear that, like uncle, dad, whatever, is nice to get that started. Let's see. I also feel like, did you have a bit of blending in your reading, Michelle? Does that make sense? Okay, so that was tricky because Michelle, is there? Oh well, I'm not gonna ask that question of Melissa actually. So one thing that you can do in that instance, right, when you have an exercise like this and you get a lot of blending, I'll go to something distinctive like the sound of their laugh or the sound of their voice to kind of get it back. And it sounds like when you did sound of voice, this actually did apply only to one person. Melissa, does this make sense? Yes. Okay, cool.
Yes, sorry.
That's okay. So using that piece of evidence to kind of be like, okay, there's two, it feels like almost three different people blending. Okay, because I feel like I feel like I see three men blending. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a lot. But the sound of the voice, sound of the laugh. So what I do in those exercises, I'm like, I'm going to use this one. Give me the one that's really different from the others. I'll try that. Okay, Linda. I don't know if people know. Oh, Linda, you were describing your partner's laugh, and you said in a crowded room, people know that it's you laughing. Where's Linda? So I liked that description and things. So that was good. Just a little bit from the psychic reading. For mediumistic, you were talking about how something's always going on in the kitchen. You could even kind of hear the kneading of the dough. There are constantly people in the house, community, family people. So it felt to me like you were hearing a lot, but then you were also deducing a lot about who this person was and how they engaged. And I really enjoyed that a lot. It seemed like it was pretty spot on. Did a lot of that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, great. Rita, the one thing I love so much, I wrote, she never shies away from giving specific evidence. You know, a lot of times mediums will generalize because they're like, oh, I'm not sure this is right. Rita never does that, which is one of my favorite things. That's very cool. You said something really interesting. It's like, I can hear her cooking and cleaning up after herself as she cooks. Was that accurate too? I just really, yes. Okay.
You have to ask Linda, I don't know.
Okay. But then also during the psychic reading, you were like bluesy, Lynyrd Skynyrd, the song Amy. So you really go for the specifics. Did that stuff end up being spot on?
No.
Okay, interesting, but that's okay. Hearing music from a transistor radio at a gathering, that was a pretty cool thing too. Hi, Michelle. So I just like that you will go for those things, and I also feel like never doubt that it might be coming from somebody else, or even just from a time period,
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll be getting that. Kristen, you really did some amazing work today with clairaudience. My goodness. I think you and Liana work really well together. So sweet. For a psychic reading, you were talking about this spontaneous giggle, like a sweet little giggle. I feel like that's got to be spot on. And you're like, God, the kitchen sounds really silent. I don't know if you cook a lot. So was that accurate as well?
Well, it was, but it wasn't. She does cook a lot, but not recently. And so the kitchen was almost calling to her.
Oh, cool. Well, then I call that accurate. For mediumistic, didn't know it was last. You were saying all these things like you didn't know it was last conversation, but she did, and how much this person wanted to protect her from knowing it was the last conversation. So it felt like it went into a really powerful message and recounting of the last time before the spirit passing. Felt really powerful for me. Liana, was it for you as well? Did you send this?
It wasn't accurate exactly, but I think it had more to do with something that was actually more on a deeper realm connection between her and I. It wasn't what happened in the physical realm. So I think I understand why she was picking up on that. It was interesting. Yeah.
So in some way that's connected to you?
Well, so what I felt there when I got the feedback was it was the spirit's impression that like they didn't talk about this being their last conversation. She didn't realize that Liana knew that this was going to be their last conversation. Only she knew. And so she didn't tell her. So she didn't, but Liana did know.
Yeah, because actually it was interesting when you're coming through and saying like somebody knew it was last conversation. It felt to me very much like, Liana, you did know it was the last conversation.
Yeah.
So it could have been that you attribute it to the spirit, but it was actually yeah. Okay, cool.
Right.
I was going to say something about that actually felt quite accurate to me, but it might just be a switching of stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it was just partly that. Yeah.
Okay, great. Liana, you also had a really good psychic description of laughter. I loved watching people hear other people's laughter, which was so cool. She's like, wow, you really let go, and it feels like grounded, almost like a belly laugh and low, and I feel like I can almost hear that right now. So I really liked how she described your laughter. Liana, also great job anchoring, although it might have been the same person as last time. So if that happens to either of you, I want you to ask that spirit to step back and get a new spirit just to challenge yourself a little bit more.
Okay. Thanks for that. Yeah, I wondered what to do because
That's okay, no worries. Sometimes they just keep wanting to come in. Also, you said something about she doesn't really understand why people like rock music, but she really likes the sounds of nature. Again, just another specific that I like that you went with. Okay, Leslie, psychic. Don't know if you live by a busy. Oh, Leslie, when you were bringing through the psychic information, I felt like you were really flowing with a lot of things you were hearing. You said, I don't know if you live by a busy street, but I would just change that languaging to be like, I'm sensing or hearing that it's possible you may hear traffic from your home. So it just comes across a little bit more confident. Mediumistic, the thing that I have to say, you have really great presentation. So you speak and it comes out really smoothly. It's easy to listen to. Now that may not sound like the sexiest compliment, but it is, because have you ever heard a medium who has so much filler language and they just like dance around with words before they get to the point? People know what I'm talking about? It kind of sounds like, I guess, it's hard to put this in the words. The way this is coming across is, and it's like they haven't actually said anything. Do you know what I'm talking about? That is, I can't listen to that it's very hard to listen to. So it's very hard to reach a really high level of proficiency in mediumship if presentation is really far behind. And Leslie, it was like listening to a saxophone in a jazz band, baby. I just feel like you speak clearly, you get straight to the point, and you have really good descriptors. And this is actually a really, really important aspect of mediumship. So I really wanted to point that out. I felt that you did a great job identifying sitter. You took some risks. You said Elvis and Johnny Cash. Was that accurate?
I don't think so, no.
Okay. We're going to keep working with our intention in terms of spirit. And it's tricky too. Clairaudience comes in a lot to like give extra flavor to other impressions that you're getting. On its own, it's really tricky. Erica, psychic. You said, I don't hear lots of noises in the house. It feels serene. Nice conversations and people speak softly, but that actually did feel really accurate to me. Was that spot on?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was really great. And then, Erica, I did say eyes open during mediumistic, but I know it's really difficult to hear when you're doing that. And I think a lot of times you do keep your eyes open. You heard hospice or home. That's something I've heard a lot of the time as well. Leslie, did that make sense?
Spot on.
Nice job today. Back toward hearing. Oh, and then she was saying things about like hearing like the sound of voice very whispery toward the end as well. Did this end up making sense? Nice.
Spot on. She did an awesome job.
Great clairaudience today, lady. Maureen, I really like how you were giving what you were getting, and then hearing her busy as she did. Hearing her busy. I don't know what I wrote here as she does things. Okay, I'm going to skip on that then. But during psychic, I really felt like you were getting what you were getting and just going with it and kind of like unfiltered with the noises. And that's a really good way to practice your clairaudience. You did a great job with that. Mediumistic, faith in you and mom and family. Okay, so you heard the sound of this person speaking to people on the other side right before they passed. And that seemed like it was spot on too. Did that make sense? What a cool thing to hear. You literally heard them having conversations with people who had already gone before them. Very cool. You had your eyes closed on this too, but I don't usually see you with your eyes closed, so I'm not hampering on it. Natalie, I also feel like you have very good descriptors in terms of bringing things across. You said, in terms of the home for Maureen, you said something like, this feels quiet in the way that is very serene. And then later on you said, this person had a laugh that was charismatic and contagious. So I really like your descriptors. Did you struggle a little bit in terms of mediumistic for anchoring the link?
I was so focused on like the hearing part of it, so that is the struggle. And I also appreciate you saying that you think I gave good description, because language is what I'm actively working on.
Well, I can tell. Becky, I just have mediumistic for you. First thing I have to say, I don't know if it's just me, but I think Elizabeth's peeps are tricky. I think they blend all over the place. I have that experience with Elizabeth where it's like, it's actually a little more difficult for me to separate her people because they all come in like a mosh pit type situation when I try to talk to them. Good job using what you were seeing to anchor the link, and that's okay. It's like, to be able to get into a clairaudient state with one person, you kind of went back to other things that were working, so I thought that was good. I was about to direct you to something. I don't know. I was about to give you something, and then something about going back to clairaudience, but then you did. Oh, no, I was about to tell you to go back to character personality to anchor that link, but then you did it anyway. So I think sometimes when you get stuck and you feel like the clairaudience is leading you astray, go to their character and personality and try to build that energy and anchor the link. And Becky, you did a good job of that. And also, I think you do a good job of just like focusing, giving what you get, and not panicking if it doesn't make sense. So that was a great thing too. Elizabeth, psychic. I wanted to keep watching this because she was like, I can